Welcome to the Ultimate Podcast. This is a show based around pro wrestling, fitness, whatever we decide that we want to talk about. My name is Frankie. Braggadocio is how you pronounce that last word for those who don't know. And this is the Ultimate Athlete, J-Rod. How you doing?
Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I am J-Rod, the Ultimate Athlete, and I'm so excited to be recording a podcast with Frankie. Oh my gosh, it's going to be great.
This is definitely the pilot episode, so feel free to leave your hate comments in the description and just let us know how we're doing, good or bad. It's the internet, so we expect it. Bring it.
Constant improvement.
That's right. So just a little bit about the podcast, Jess, if you want to talk about what to expect, like what do people want to what are they going to be expecting when they hear us talk to each other?
So I think that we're just going to bring a genuine, authentic, just real conversation to professional wrestling and sports entertainment and all that comes along with that, such as fitness, nutrition, and just even the entertainment side of things, and interviewing different people and working with different people and hoping to just create a good, authentic conversation around things that we enjoy and what we love to do.
Awesome. Yeah, so I guess we can start with a little bit about ourselves, and then we can dive into the first topic. So a little bit about myself. I am currently active duty as this podcast is being recorded. About a year and a half left to retirement, and been a wrestling fan for a very, very long time. Ran into Jess along the way, and now we have this podcast that we started up. I do music on the side. I have a label, Higher Anarchy Media Group. We've been doing stuff over the past few years, and hopefully we'll be able to get 2024 going to new heights. So that's a little bit about me. Let's talk about you.
Well, thank you for your service, and I'm excited to be doing this with you as well. I am Jessica. I don't know if I should real names, shoot names, all that stuff, or if we should just go into.
I mean, it's
let it loose.
You
whatever.
You can stay a character if you want to. I mean, I'm
not sure. I don't know yet, but I'm originally from Ohio, and I live out here in California, chasing my dream of becoming a professional wrestler while simultaneously, doing the thing. Big girl job, the whole nine, training pretty much every day. So just putting in the grind, making dreams a reality. And this is one of the things I really need to work on, is talking in front of a camera and talking in a microphone. And so, yeah, I just want to become the best version of myself. And so that's kind of what I'm here to continue to do and improve on as well.
Yes, Jess actually asked me to set up a podcast with her. I've had podcasting gear probably since the start of COVID. I never used it. I actually do a podcast with a group of guys called Dope Producers United. And it was one of those things where I've become so comfortable being on camera that it wasn't necessarily I don't know if I want to do this. I've wanted to do a podcast for a while, so it was one of those situations where, hey, right place, right time. Just happened to have all the equipment for it, so here we are.
Destiny. I was meant to meet Frank.
Oh man, good old WrestleCon. But so we'll take a quick break, and then when we get back, we'll jump into our first topic on the Ultimate Podcast. Welcome back to the Ultimate Podcast. So let's get into this first topic. So let's talk about the story of how we met. Okay, so this is the weirdest thing. I was doing security at WrestleMania. It was through volunteer work with me being on the base. We were able to do security for different events at SoFi, and WrestleMania just happened to be one of them. And being that I was in the area, I was like, you know what, let me try this out. So WrestleCon was the day before. It was on a Friday, and I was there to see some other wrestlers. Your booth happened to be right next to the people I was going to see. So as I'm walking around the corner, I see this tall Amazon, woman. Well, I'm 5'4", so everybody's Amazon to me. But I see Jess standing there, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? She's like, hey, this is our wrestling academy. You should come train to be a wrestler. And I gave her that look of like and I rebutted with, hey, if you guys need theme songs, I can make theme songs for you, because I used to make theme songs for a friend of mine who is now working in AEW. So she kind of was like, okay, well, go downstairs and talk to Rikishi, and and let him know that I sent you there. And I was like, you mean like Rikishi? She's like, yeah, like that's his school now. And then I gave her that look like, because you never really think as a fan you would be able to get to certain places, right? So I go down there. I talked to Big Oos, and I said, hey, I just ran into Jess, and she told me to come downstairs and talk to you about doing theme songs for for your school. And I'm gonna try and get my best Rikishi impression. I don't want to get in no heat or anything, but he was like, you know, come to the domain, we'll talk business. And I was like, all right, cool. And that was it. So I think a week or so later, I showed up, and it was all love. They welcomed me to the Knox Pro family, and it's been a hell of a ride. Believe me, this year has been one of those weird years where it's been so many good, so many bad, but you kind of take it, you take everything as a as a lessons learned. So that's my side of it. I mean, obviously your side is probably way different, but yes.
No, I can kind of tell my side. Okay, so in April of 2021, I started training at Knox Pro Academy in Van Nuys, California. And yeah, I get to train with the Samoan Dynasty and all this cool stuff. And then things happen and I become champion of Knox Pro. So that was really an awesome experience. And so part of that experience, WrestleMania comes to town, and we're a Los Angeles based school with Rikishi as our trainer. So of course we're going to have representation at the WrestleCon. So we got asked, some of the champions, to come represent the school at WrestleCon. So I was there kind of networking, introducing people to the school, just kind of being that side of the marketing aspect of Knox Pro, and, meet and greet fans and being a part of the world as we know it, sports entertainment. So it's kind of just one of those things that they teach us too, is through experience and opportunities, take every single one of them. So I did, and thankfully I did, because this guy comes up to us and he approaches us, and I, pitch, hey, do you want to become a wrestler? And he didn't seem so sure. But he did mention a lot of the things that he was able to do. And being a student there and working with Knox Pro, I was like, what you are capable of and wanting to do is what exactly like we need at Knox Pro. So you should come, go tell Rikishi that this is something, you're local, you live nearby, and you're a freaking expert at all these things. So oh yeah, like you said, a week later, I was like, what? You actually showed up and you came and
Yep.
and
I
it's
actually,
everything that you wanted and more.
yeah, I actually called y'all's bluff. And I mean, like I said, it was something that I'm very, thankful for the opportunity, to be doing this with you guys. I've, done the production and, theme songs, and just this whole year has been an amazing experience. So I'm hoping that, next year will be even better, and, we'll be able to have, even better stories, come next year. So yeah, that was definitely one for the books. And I mean, like I said, I enjoyed WrestleMania because I was right next to Gorilla Position where they had me. I was on the other side of it. And like I said, it was there's no better feeling than just like being in an arena full of people that are screaming their heads off, and like just like, man, like that's an experience. So
Where were you located security wise?
so at first they had the doors open next to Gorilla Position, and
Okay.
I was standing right where the entrance ramp was, so right where they were walking out to go.
Dang.
Yeah, that's where they had me. I actually had a conversation with Seth Rollins. He probably won't remember, but there's a couple people that I saw before they actually closed the doors. But yeah, it was like, I mean, even
Now,
as
do
a
they allow camera like footage? Did
Oh,
or
no, no, no. Well, I mean, as far as like security wise, like we weren't allowed to like take any pictures or anything like that.
you were
But
like secretly?
oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, like I said, I have a my photographic memory. I will remember every single moment of standing there and like just seeing stuff, because you can kind of peek through the curtains and see like certain things happening. But no, it was an awesome experience for sure. And like I said, it's one of those things where the opportunity kind of presented itself, and now we're here doing this, and we'll see where the winds take us.
Yep.
So
And WrestleCon too. I don't think that we kind of even mentioned what that was. Did we?
yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. So for those who aren't familiar with that, WrestleCon is essentially a wrestling convention that, um, you know, I guess all the wrestlers from past, present, future, they all
Yeah.
show up, and you do meet and greets, you do sign autographs and take pictures and whatnot. So it's one of those things where even for me, just showing up and seeing the people that I saw, I would never see them in any other normal capacity. Like I got a picture with Kurt Angle, I got a picture with some AEW guys, and it was such a unreal experience that my wallet hated me for it, but it was.
As you see all the belts behind us.
Listen, so all these belts, let's not get it twisted here. A lot of these belts I got when I was overseas. I had different money overseas. Now it's a little bit different, but like I said, I'm not gonna admit to that to anybody at the domain.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we'll take another break, and then we'll come back. We're gonna dig deeper into the life of Jess, and see what her upbringing and all that stuff, and we'll get to know you a little bit better.
Oh great. See you guys soon.
All right, and welcome back. So let's dig into the life of J-Rod. All right, um so tell us about a little bit about you, where you're from, and um just what life was like for young Jessica.
Well, young Jessica, I am originally from Columbus, Ohio, born and raised Midwest girl. a little small town north of Columbus. But I was the ultimate athlete. I did volleyball, softball, cheer, track, gymnastics. I just I wanted to prove that I could. So I was that girl that did, and if you can do it, I can do it better was my mindset. So there wasn't anything young J-Rod couldn't do. So yeah, that's kind of what led me to ultimately being the ultimate athlete. Just growing up, putting myself into different athletic sports, and I never did theater or any sort of entertainment. I was always occupied with sports and that sort of thing. But I definitely loved being around people and having just that energy around others. And so I, after Ohio, I went to the University of Alabama in Alabama for college. So I graduated high school, and yep, I told my family, hey, look, I am going out of state and I'm going to go to the best sports school in all of the land, the Crimson Tide, the University of Alabama. So, yeah, after that, I graduated college and moved out to California. I got a big girl job in sales and marketing, and then with that kind of secured in my belt, I decided, okay, now's the time to follow my dream and what is my purpose, and that led me to professional wrestling.
Nice. So, I mean, during those times, you really didn't have any intention of wanting to do pro wrestling, and I mean, but so what ultimately drove you to want to do that?
So I always like knew that I was meant for more. Like I had that like inside, I don't know how to describe it. It's that like wanting more and like have like something big that I'm like drawn to, and I feel like God and I am somewhat of a spiritual person, so I feel like it's definitely one of those things that I'm like, okay, like I had prayed and I was like, what is it that I meant to do? So when I found professional wrestling super late, I do feel like it was all just accumulation of like just my God given gifts and abilities. And I want to know like what it was that I was supposed to do. So it took me, I feel like, that long to find it because I was supposed to go through the experiences and the different things that I had done through school and athletics to finally lead me to, okay, this is it. This is why I was given all these tools to finally be able to create and use my gifts and abilities. And so I did find professional wrestling a little later. But when I found it, I was like, this is it. This is exactly like my reason for being, is kind of how I describe it. And with that, I do think that like your reason for being is like a real thing. Like each person has a reason for being. So for me, your reason for being is accumulation of like what you love, what the world needs, what you are good at, and then what you can be paid for. So your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. So I do think that like, what is it that I love? And I love athletics. I love being a mentor to young kids. I love traveling. I love eating food from all over. I'm a huge foodie. I love meeting new people and just being a positive influence on others. And I love marketing, and I love being creative and storytelling. And what is it that I can do that like literally brings all the things that I love out? And then what the world needs, your mission. I feel like for me, it was the world needs more love. The world needs more people that want to show people that this is worth going after. Your dreams are worth pursuing. I just felt like I had something that the world needed. And so being kind of that independent wrestler or a wrestler in that sense, it would allow me to be that light to others and kind of what I felt the world needed, especially at this time in the world, let me just say.
Oh, I know. I
And
know.
then what you're good at, like I said, I was like, I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at the athletic stuff. Oh my gosh, I can do that. I can do a springboard crossbody. Are you kidding? Like that is no big deal for a J-Rod, the ultimate athlete, you know? And then yeah, what you can get paid for. I'm like, yeah, like I see my dream house. I didn't grow up in the best financial circumstances and stuff like that. So I've always, you know, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be that for my family. And so, yeah, I wanted to get paid the big bucks. So I couldn't just settle for being a teacher or being something like that when I felt like I had to do more. And nothing wrong, like, trust me, with teachers. Like, I was almost one. So.
So you know you mentioned that you wanted to be a mentor for younger kids, right? So you want to be an inspiration. So who inspires J-Rod?
So, in professional wrestling, I would say, getting into it later, I did a lot of research, and so I wanted to kind of, especially training with the Samoan dynasty, I'm very big on like the old school and the history of. So I literally like got books of like what is professional wrestling and like how did it start and how did it begin, and I like basically took it like as if it's its own course or class. And so I studied like Alundra Blaze. She was one of the old school gals
Mm-hmm.
who became Medusa. Beth Phoenix, she just exemplified that like glam mixed with like beast. So I was like, yeah, like that's something I can kind of tune into myself and watching her and exemplify that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally something that inspires me on that aspect of things. The Rock, John Cena, of course, you know, I'm like, they're larger than life, and they've kind of, even like as big of a stretch as the WWE may sound, they like took that and they're like, no, we can do even more than that, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Now they're movie stars and now they create their own brands and they're doing different things. So it's like, it's just like one of those things, like you can do it as long as you put your mind to it.
For sure.
And then the Bella twins inspire me too. I think that they're in the same way, like just able to like take everything head on and then make more out of what was given to them. So
Yeah. Also, yeah. I mean, and like I said, it's one of those things where, you know, coming up as a fan, there's so many characters and so many people that you see on TV and you're like, man, I can do that. I wish I could do that. So no, I feel like when I see you work in the ring, and if you haven't seen Jess in the ring, like she's amazing. Like it's one of those things where it's like you just see certain people that just have it, and that's what I feel like.
thank you.
And it just kind of, it was one of those things where it's just like, yeah, if I'm gonna put effort and support into somebody, it's definitely somebody like like Jake over here in the corner. Shout out to Jake Painter, by the way. It's a it's just one of those things where it's like I'm glad that I'm in the company that I'm in with the people that I'm doing this with, because it just feels so just feels right.
It does. And I do really do feel, like I said earlier, destiny. I was like, we were meant to meet. So I think this is great too. I think it'll allow us to dig a little deeper into like our friendship and us create that, because I feel like we have a good foundation for, I feel like we need each other, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I just appreciate you and what you're able to do and your genuineness and authenticness and willingness to help little old J-Rod.
I'm just here. Look, I'm just the guy with the gear. Okay, this
Oh,
is
stop
all
it.
right. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, huh? Let's talk about who your dream matches are, because I know you got them.
Meat and potatoes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say it's a little more than meat potatoes. Like this is the whole 5-course meal, you know? So give me Rhea Ripley, give
Mm.
me Bianca Belair, give me Charlotte Flair,
Okay.
give me Raquel Gonzalez. I want the big beasts, and I want to show them that J-Rod is a new girl in town, but she's ready to throw down. Let's just say that.
You heard it here first, folks. All right. So with that, we'll take another break. We'll be back. We're gonna get into J-Rod's fitness plan because I know some of us here need it. We'll be back.
Tune in.
And welcome back. So, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Not really. Let's talk about fitness. We've reached the fitness portion of the segment. And the reason why I wanted to, make sure that we talked about this is because, even for me, I know that I don't take fitness as well as, or, to heart as most other people do. I know Mike, who does the Blend of Life stuff. He's real big into fitness. He goes to the gym every day religiously. 5 a.m. I see him walking out the door, and it's just like, man, I really wish I can get on that level. And even being military, like I think we're supposed to keep a certain level of fitness, but let's face it, a lot of us don't. So let's talk about you. So I know you have an intense workout routine. Obviously, it shows, right? And being the ultimate athlete, I would think that your workout routine has to be like something intense, right? Let's talk about it. How many push-ups and just
All the things.
yeah, all the things.
Okay, so I've gotten to a point where I am like maintaining building my physique. So it's definitely different than most that are trying to like cut fat and do all this. Like it's completely a different, like I'm trying to just gain more and more. But I've also like put in the work to get to this point. And I definitely recommend too, if it is hard to have that like structure and accountability, pay for a trainer. Even knowing what I know as far as fitness and training and stuff like that, like to have someone there holding you accountable and you physically spending your money on a trainer like forces you to go in that aspect. So it's almost like, okay, I'm paying for this guy to teach me this, and then he'll push one more, or she, whoever. So yeah, definitely if that's kind of like I feel like pushing yourself to get to the gym is one thing, but once you're there, it's just putting in that work while you're there. And I don't do anything crazy. I know I'm the ultimate athlete, but like I said, consistency is key, and as long as you're moving your body and doing the work, the results will eventually come. And as far as like my workout routine and the things that I do work out about 5-6 days a week, only 1 to 2 days off. And within my workout, each day I typically do a different like body part. And then at the end of each body part workout, I end with abs. So I'm always maintaining my core to get my rock hard abs. And then I do about 3 to 4 sets for about 12 to 15 reps of each exercise. So
Has me sweating just thinking about it.
And you have the fundamental like warm-ups like squats, and you can do different plyometric exercises like high knees and butt kickers and ladder drills and stuff to kind of get you warmed up and moving. But within just like building muscle and focusing on kind of the bodybuilding aspect, it's just consistency, making sure you're hitting literally every muscle in your body, and then doing it often enough to where it'll make that difference. And then, if you're hitting arms one day, back the other day, chest the other day, and then legs the next day, and then you're back to arms the following, so then you're consistently like building and growing.
Yeah, and you're not attacking one part of the body so often to where you can potentially suffer an injury from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I know when I was doing gym stuff, back on back on the ship, that was the one thing that that kind of kept us going on deployments, just being in the gym and just trying to stay keep your mind away from just being out at sea all the time. Like I said, I haven't been out to sea in a minute, and I hopefully don't ever plan to, but like I said, never say never, right? CM Punk. But
And I found too, like, making it a habit is probably the best, like, kind of advice. Like, you don't want to go to work in the morning, or you don't want to go to drop your kids off at school, or you don't want to. There's a lot of things you don't want to do, but you just kind of have to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just one of those things, like, force yourself, okay, I have to go to the gym today. Like, it's just, it has to be done. You just do it. Nike, just do it.
So a funny story. I don't know if it's funny, but so I was on a really good workout regimen this year, and then I had suffered a minor injury. And,
oh my gosh, can we please tell this story, because we talked about like coming into Nox Pro.
Okay, so all right, so
sidetrack. We're sidetracking to a different topic, but this is hilarious. You guys have to hear this.
So over the summer, I was training in the gym, and simple drill. It was run off the ropes, take a shoulder tackle, fall on your back. Everything went well except for the fact that when I fell, my leg, I landed on it and basically just snapped my ankle. In so many places that every time they came back from the back to from the x-ray room, they found another fracture. So it was just like, oh, okay, cool. So
and let's just mention Frank came to like be a producer and be the sound and music guy. He wanted to strictly not step in the ring. But when you come to train with the Samoan Dynasty at Nox Pro, you need to learn the ropes and inside of the ring.
And
you took that head on. You went in there, you were doing your thing, and then snap.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, as a fan, I definitely wanted to feel what it was like. When I took that first bump, there's nothing that prepares you for that. It's like when I was in the Navy and we were in boot camp, and we had to take the jump off of the 15-foot high diving board into the water. Now, two things about me that you may or may not know. One, I can't swim well, right? And two, I also have a huge fear of heights. So that day was probably...
I keep knocking this table away. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. We'll fix it in post. Okay. So that was like, the worst day that, I experienced, because I had to get 2 fears knocked out same time, basically, without drowning. So it was a situation where it's like, I do want to do it. I understand, that in the business, guys have to pay dues, right? It's not just you're going to walk in and just, get stuff handed to you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter what generation you are,
Yeah.
So, just to say that I did it,
fearless Frankie.
So it was what was crazy is that simple drop to the ground, kind of put me out of commission and pretty much ended the career before it started.
But like you said, you were like, I came here to not do this, and all of a sudden you were hurt to the point to where you strictly couldn't do that.
Well, and like I said, it's one of those things where things happen for a reason, and I also tell myself that to make it in show business you have to break a leg. So
It's true, and you did.
Yeah, literally.
Literally.
So, something else I wanted to ask you while we're on the topic of health and fitness, you being in the gym and being in the gym for 6 days a week. What's your playlist?
So you guys are gonna actually probably unfollow me because I listen to whatever the gym has on.
Oh.
And
Oh.
I know. I like to like hear the sounds of the weights clanking and like people talking and conversating with the people that I'm working out with, or if there's an announcement or a fire, I'm ready to go, So
I used to be an ambiance gym person, right? I used to, listen to everything else around me, but then, it gets to a point where it kind of gets distracting to you. Yeah, at least for me. And I try to, just find music that that's very inspirational, or I'll just like listen to my album that I haven't released yet because I'm that person. So no, I just wanted to ask that question.
Well,
because
maybe you should send me your album to listen to and I'll try it out.
Oh yeah, coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yeah, it's on the way. So we'll take one more break. When we get back, we'll wrap the show up and we'll see how we feel about this one. All right,
Yeah.
We'll be back.
First episode. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. See you guys in a minute.
Guys, so this was the very first episode of the Ultimate Podcast with myself, Frankie Braggadocio, and the Ultimate Athlete, J-Rod. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, this is episode 1. It may feel like NPR radio now, but trust me, things will liven up as we get loose.
Yes. Knock out the first podcast jitters, I guess you could say.
And this one was a long time coming because I think it was like 3 weeks from the first time we talked about it to actually.
But that's pretty good turnover. Like
I would
speaking something into existence and then making it happen 3 weeks later. I think this is pretty great.
Yeah, especially with the way our schedules were operating. It felt like it was never going to happen. But
I know.
I'm like I said, I'm glad that we were able to get this one knocked out.
We did it. Yeah, and we would love to get suggestions and different recommendations for what you guys may want to talk about in future podcast episodes, and anything that you may want to hear or talk about, as well as I'm going to suggest maybe like putting in like maybe some games or different ways to like open up and include the audience in on our podcast. What about you, Frankie? What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely want to do some more fun things. I want to do a dad joke off at some point. I feel
absolutely. I love dad jokes.
Yeah, I'm the king of that. So we'll that should be
maybe
a fun
even
episode.
like some giveaways of some sort. I feel like
for sure.
We have some stuff to give away.
Yeah. Nothing in this room. Don't even ask.
Yeah, don't even think. There's gonna be some.
Don't even ask. So.
Unless it's those nunchucks over there.
Oh, the Bruce Lee ones? No. Nothing in this room.
Nothing. Maybe his kids' toys.
Yeah, I think we have some J-Rod shirts.
Yeah, we have J-Rod merch and stickers and different things that we can send out and give to you guys.
Absolutely. So, like I said, we have a couple different places you can follow us. You can definitely follow us on Instagram. The Gmail, if you want to email us anything, is jrodultimatepodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. jrodultimatepodcast@gmail.com. Just email anything. I mean, Frankie's gonna filter through to keep the weird sending stuff out.
Keep the weird stuff out.
The weird stuff out. And then some of my social media handles, I'll mention mine and then you can mention yours. Okay, so Instagram, follow me on JS at JSRoden, RODEN. On Twitter, Jrodprowrestle. And then TikTok, JSRoden, which I haven't really uploaded to TikTok as much, but maybe now that I have a podcast.
Oh man, we might have just did something. Yeah, so Frankie Braggadocio, pretty much anywhere. If you Google me, I will pop up.
And how do you spell that, Frankie Braggadocio?
Easy. Braggadacio, and it is a real word. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for coming and listening and putting up with Frankie and I.
More so you than me. I mean, look, I'm just here at this point, all right? But
me too. I'm just here at this point as well.
Well, we really appreciate you guys, taking time to watch this podcast, and hopefully we'll see you around for the next one.
See you soon. Thank you, everyone.